So can you tell us what this situation is about?
Yes, madam, with a great pleasure. So the situation is about someone who is working for a company,
Yeah.
precisely the Alpha project. They have
Yeah.
a project which is considered to be an opportunity to the company. But then they have a problem. The problem is Ali. So Ali was not very engaged lately, and the boss have asked for me or from the other person to work with him. Well, he will have a bad impact on the project, which we don't want. So we need to have a discussion with Ali in order to achieve the company objectives. That's all.
And you don't want your boss to be involved in the conflict solving process, right? You want to deal with this problem with yourself without
Yes, because I don't want my boss to intervene, since it will indicate that I can't handle through problems. So yes,
you take it
As
like
I said,
a personal, yeah.
Yeah, continue, Professor. You first.
You take it like a performance issue. If you don't succeed to resolve this problem by yourself, negotiate with Ali by you alone, and this is about your performance management performance skills. So you choose to deal with this problem by yourself, right, Bushra? Right, Ibrahim?
yes, ma'am.
Yes, for me, I think that the boss must follow lead do management style, which is to let do his co-workers and his employees to do the work by themselves, and also to manage the relationship between them. Because with the objective to set up a good psychological climate between the co-workers, we don't want to have conflicts or bad relationship, which will inflict or affect negatively on the project.
Yeah.
Thus, this will increase the motivation or enhance the motivation of the employees, and the organization will be able to achieve the Alpha project successfully.
Okay. So it's a challenge for you to deal with this problem. It's a management challenge. It's a leadership challenge to resolve this problem by yourself. Because if you arrive to this last step and your boss had to doit intervenir, this means that you fail and you are not like a good manager, a good conflict solving manager, right? So. So you decide to organize, to planify this negotiation situation with Ali, okay, votre collaborateur Ali. So guys, who can remind us the planning process, the different steps of a planning process?
Excuse me, madame, what you said?
I said, who can remind us, qui peut nous rappeler the different steps of a negotiation process, un negotiation planning process, qui peut nous rappeler les différentes étapes d'un processus de planification d'une situation de négociation. Nous avons vu les différentes étapes la séance dernière. We saw the different steps last sessions.
Madam, like defining the negotiation goal like this?
Yeah, the first step is defining the negotiation goal.
Yes.
Then the second step is?
Madam, the second step is
the problem?
Defining the major issues related to achieving the goal.
The major issues, exactly.
Yes. And to know about the problem of our negotiation goal and of our process.
Yeah, that means issues.
Madam,
yes,
après,
issues.
Madam, après, we need to assemble the issues according to our priorities. It means ranking their importance.
Yeah, the step number 4.
After that, defining, I think, our interests.
Yeah, our interests.
Yes, and we need to define and know our resistance point. It means the maximum situation that we can handle. either in order, either in terms of money or in terms of anything else, quality or other thing. After that, we need to know more about the other party, their goals, issues, etc. And then I guess it comes the target setting. Say so. That's it, I guess.
Yeah, but you forget a very important step.
Assessing the social context.
Yeah, analyzing the context, but you should list your alternatives. You should prepare alternatives before starting your negotiation situation. And you will see this session, we will talk about some perception power, and you will see that this list of alternatives is very important to make you strong in every negotiation situation. So preparing alternatives is one of the key steps of the planning process. Okay?
Yes.
So knowing your alternatives, exactly, Omar. Knowing your alternatives. This is an important and a very important step. So who want to present the result of his planning process?
Me, madam.
Okay, go ahead, Bushra.
Okay, so we have, you all have, okay, that's great. So the worksheet negotiation planning. So the first thing we have is issues. Why are we meeting? So for me, we are meeting in order to discuss Ali performance issues. For the others, we are meeting in the aim to communicate as well as to negotiate and to clarify the mission of everyone on the team and to achieve the company objective. That's first of all. Now the objective, what we want to achieve. For me, I tend my personal goal, which is the promotion. That's what was mentioned above. For the others, the objective is to implement successfully the new software program. Now, we have the needs and interests intangible. We have, first of all, the communication with the boss to clarify things. Secondly, the discussion and the seriousness from Ali, because we need him to be more serious in order to have a successful project. And finally, we need the coordination from Alpha Project teams member, because we have to have a good climate between us. Now, for the others, the intangible needs and interests are the company objective achievements, of course. Now, I'm going to escape, of course, the potential concessions can be given up. I'm going to escape that to go to the settlement options, possible answers. Now, for me, is to start the project with a positive mindset and to feel that Ali became more responsible. We need to have a discussion with Ali and to make him understand that this project is very serious for us, and we need him to be serious too and to be responsible. Otherwise, he will not be in the project with me, for me, you know. Now, for the others, for the company, otherwise, as I said, the boss must follow at lead-do management style, because we have different management style, and lead-do management style, I think, is the best, with the objective to set up a good psychological climate between the co-workers. Thus, this will enhance the motivation of the employees, but also the organization will be able to achieve this Alpha project successfully. Thank you.
Thank you, Bushra. Thank you. So Bushra, potential concessions could be something you can give to the other side of the negotiation situation. Like, for example, what kind of concessions you can give to Ali? You can give him like a flexible work agenda. Un agenda de travail flexible. He can, for example, il peut démarrer à midi au lieu de démarrer à 8 heures. Some flexible agenda for this is an example. You can give him a better work atmosphere. You can give him like a cash bonus, une prime, par exemple. Those are some concessions you can give to Ali. And you should prepare like a list of those concessions, a list of potential and possible concessions. That doesn't mean that you will anyway give them. Oui, Leila.
مدام راه غير كنت كنهضر في واتساب وكنت ما دايرش بالعين وحال الميكرو شي ديزولي انا مصدعه معاه شي فريمون ديزولي.
Une seconde les amis s'il vous plaît. Okay, e-learning issues. So potential concessions can be, I was explaining, Bushra, potential concessions could be something you can propose and you can give to the other side, like, but not anyway. I mean, I will prepare this list of potential concessions. I mean, teletravail, for example, is an option. A flexible agenda is an option. Une motivation salariale, a cash bonus, for example. I don't know, a better, as I said, a better office. Well, a list of concessions. I should put I can accept that Ali cannot be present, could not be present in every meeting, for example, but he should, let's agree on a results approach, an objective-based approach, not an effort-based approach. Nous pouvons nous mettre d'accord sur une approche plutôt basée sur les résultats, basée sur les objectifs, et non pas une approche basée sur l'effort, c'est-à-dire qu'il peut ne pas être présent au niveau de toutes les réunions s'il est un peu ennuyé, si ces discussions qualitatives, puisque Ali est plus dans les logiciels, dans les choses techniques, si ces discussions qualitatives l'ennuient, on peut préparer un plan. Donc, this list of concessions should be made before starting this negotiation planning. So, guys, who else want to present, propose, make a proposal of planning process, of negotiation planning?
Miss?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. 1 minute.
Nora.
Yes, Miss, 1 minute, please. Just to...
Bien sûr, vas-y.
For the issues why we are meeting, me and my group, we choose to discuss Ali's behavior in the past few months and the reason.
Who's your group?
Nizar.
Yeah.
Asiya.
Okay.
Fadel, Ashraf and Khalil.
Perfect. Ashraf Madkouri?
No, the other one.
Okay. Ashraf Hadri.
Hadri, yes. So for the issues why we are meeting, we choose to discuss Ali's behavior in the past few months and the reasons of his negligence. And for the objectives, what we want to achieve, get Ali to focus on his work and to be more professional to make these projects work. And for the needs and interest intangible is to clarify things with Ali. And also we need the coordination from all the Alpha teams members. And for the potential concessions can be given up. If Ali has some personal issues, maybe we can schedule the meetings around sometimes that can be suitable for him. Absolutely. And for the settlement options, possible answers, Ali can sign a written agreement to guarantee his commitment to the project. The company will try and adapt with Ali's conditions. If Ali doesn't respect the agreements, the company will consider firing him.
Perfect. Perfect, Nora. So as you can notice, guys, the difference of Team Nora and there is a difference between the answers presented by Team Nora and Bushra. But let me say that there is not one answer, just one correct answer. In negotiation planning, issues can be different. So Bushra proposed, like when trying to clarify her issue, Bushra, you talked about promotion, right? You said that your issue is the promotion. Nora's team, the issue in Nora's team is different. And I can say that, for example, it was me who, if it was me who is answering, who is preparing the planning, negotiation planning, I say that generally the issue in my case will be the success of Alpha project. Well, this is my issue. Sorry. My objective will be the success of Alpha project. This is the objective, but my issue is le problème. My issue is about Ali involvement in the project. So this is my issue. I need Ali, I need la compétence de Ali dans mon projet. Ça, c'est mon problème. J'ai besoin de profiter au maximum de la compétence de Ali. I need to involve Ali in my project. My objective is to succeed in this Alpha project. Okay, my needs and interests. What did you say, Nora, about needs and interests?
Same like Bushra. I told that we must communicate with Ali, and also to get all the team involved.
Okay, so our interest is if we analyze our different interests, is getting you said that getting Ali involved and getting all the team involved. But my interest, if we open the flow of information, we will see, for example, that my interest is those reaching some objectives. So if we stay on this position-based analysis, the position is to make Ali present in every meeting, to motivate Ali to be present in every meeting. That's the position. But if we try to analyze the interest, we may see that the interest, for example, is to attain certain objectives. C'est-à-dire, si nous restons sur une analyse basée sur la position, nous allons dire, par exemple, que l'objectif est que Ali soit présent dans tous les événements et dans toutes les réunions. Mais si nous ouvrons the flow of information, si nous commençons à parler et partager nos intérêts, ben, l'intérêt, c'est atteindre certains objectifs relatifs related to the task that should be executed by Ali. And here we can present, as I said, some other concessions. So if the objective, si l'objectif est que Ali atteint certains objectifs, ben, relatifs à son rôle, il n'a peut-être pas besoin d'être présent dans toutes les réunions. L'important pour moi, c'est qu'il remplisse son rôle, c'est qu'il exécute les tâches, peu importe s'il soit présent ou non. Donc, this is the interest. So, peut-être sa présence physique n'est pas assez importante pour moi. D'accord? So, potential concessions. Well, I guess Team Nora understand what concessions are. So, there are some offer some potential, let's say, motivations, like potential flexible choice, flexible options that I can propose to Ali. Okay. So, guys, who else wants to present another answer proposition?
Madam.
Oui.
It's
Omar Amir.
Yeah,
You worked alone or you were a team?
No, first I'm asking a question before I answer the
Okay, go ahead, Omar.
Yeah, I was talking about the potential concessions, like giving up some potential concessions to Ali. Won't it have a negative effect to the group?
Okay, political question. What if those
giving up something for him, like if you give up something for someone, let's take an example, a friend, tomorrow I'll want the same example, I'll want the same advantage too.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good question, but let's say that this is just an example of concessions. But I agree with you that we should take in consideration the other teams, the other member of team. Yeah, yeah. This is a good question. What if the other member of team want the same thing? But what if the expertise, Omar, of Ali is very important? What if it is the only engineer or who has this technical expertise in the team, and I cannot find another another team member? I cannot replace him. What if this is the case? I need to present some certain concessions to so that I can keep him with me, with the team. I can reach those objectives. I can attain those objectives without losing. Yeah, but your question still a good question. What if the older member want the same concessions, want the same advantage? But this will let's say this will be, we may analyze this according to the situation. Okay, we will see the situation. I cannot give a global or a general answer, Omar. I cannot give a global let's say a global answer, because situation may differ from one from another. Okay, political answer for a political question.
Okay, then I guess I can try to answer from the work we did with my group.
Okay, one second, Omar, 1 second.
Okay.
Okay, go ahead, Omar, I'm listening.
Okay, madam. I was saying, like, I'm going to try answer from the work we did with my group.
Yeah, with your group, Omar.
Yeah, we always work with Abdurrahman, Koulibaly, Ashraf Madkouri, and Fatima Zahra. And myself. Okay?
So go ahead.
Okay, so on the issues, yeah, why are we meeting? Probably going to meet about, like, what we did was we're going to meet to discuss about Ali's not taking his responsibilities seriously and discussing about Ali's performance.
Mm-hmm.
And on the objectives, before like getting to ask Ali to fully commit to the job and his responsibilities, mm-hmm. I think the right thing will be like to understand why Ali has been acting the way he has been, because mm-hmm. You're not going to ask someone to do something before getting to understand his situation. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the needs and the interest. So like we said was like to achieve the objectives, like because they said the Alpha project was really important for the company, and that was the interest, like the intangible interest, like we thought, because we said like our interest is to achieving the goal since the Alpha project is very important to the company. Mm-hmm. And potential concessions can be given up. I just had a problem with that, because I said like I won't give up on someone something. Probably like it's something we'll have to talk the whole group, the whole like.
Okay, let's just give examples and let those decisions, those decisions for real situation. Okay.
Yeah. On this matter, we said probably like getting to understand Ali, and from what you said, like having a flexible schedule for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, but for me, I was a little bit against it. And the settlement is probably the settlement was to get Ali to really confirm to us, like to confirm it to us, like he's really committed to the project, and he's really down to work with the whole group together. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess so. That's what we did.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Perfect, Omar. So as you can notice, guys, once again, I will say it, there is no one answer as a negotiator. Like you can, you according to your character, according to your profile, according to your perception, and we will see perception right away. We could have different answers, different continents for the negotiation plan, and there is no a wrong or correct answer, okay? But there is one. I guess we will have a common goal, okay? I can say that we will have a common goal. There is just one common goal, which is to get Ali involved in your project. So, but the interest, the potential concession, the settlement agreement, I propose to give this flexible agenda to Ali, but Omar, for example, think that this is too much. He may propose another concessions, like let him do his, for example, I'm just saying, giving an example, let him do his work, and c'est-à-dire evaluate him according to his result, not according to his presence in the meeting, for example. Well, concessions like that. But we have a common goal, which is to get involved Ali, because we need his expertise and succeed in this Alpha project. Okay, guys, so when negotiating, there is some mistakes that you should avoid. Exerting pressure, lack of flexibility, aggression, and you have compliance and inadequate preparation. So exerting pressure, when one partner is superior in rank position, when you are sometime in the company, when you will have those let's say this management responsibility, sometimes you will be superior in rank position to the other person, the person in the other side of the negotiation. You will be sometimes consciously or unconsciously you will exploit him. So pressure always produce counter pressure, which in turn often leads to an escalation, which the negotiator find it hard to break out of. So donc la pression provoque une contre-pression, et il y en aura une montée de pression qu'on ne peut pas arrêter dans cette situation des négociations. Donc, quoi que vous soyez supérieur dans la hiérarchie face à l'autre partenaire, essayez de ne pas mettre beaucoup de pression, ne pas sur l'autre, voilà, sur votre the other side of the negotiation situation. Lack of flexibility. So changes to a situation can reveal parties to be so fixed on their ways as to find it difficult to adapt to a new circumstances. Donc, essayez d'être flexible. Try to be flexible. Ne restez pas figé sur votre une seule offre. Just one target, just one concession, just one. Well, this list of alternatives, this various level of targets, this list of potential concessions will avoid you this big mistake in negotiation situation, which is the lack of flexibility. Aggression. The more a negotiator has to rely on his on this, I mean, the more, plus il a besoin d'être agressif au niveau d'une situation de négociation, the more likely it is to provoke negative reactions on which will ultimately prevent any bipartisan agreement. Donc, if you are aggressive, si vous êtes agressif dans cette situation de négociation, vous aurez de fortes chances pour ne pas atteindre you have big chances to not attain this win-win negotiation, this win-win results. I mean, aggression may lead you to a bargaining distributive negotiation situation, and will not help you to attain to reach this ideal, this perfect negotiation situation, which is the win-win negotiations, the integrative negotiation situation, or the win-win negotiation situation, especially when we care about long-term relationships and partnerships. Compliance. Okay, fearing conflict, negotiating partners are often defensive and submissive, and therefore make concessions without getting anything in return. As already explained, the absence of a best alternative leads to this behavior. I just said that when we talk about this step that you've missed when citing the different steps of negotiation planning. The alternatives, the list of alternatives will give you this advantage of being strong, strong in the strong position in a negotiation situation, and avoid compliance, and avoid being defensive, submissive, and avoid accepting any offer that the other side of the negotiation will propose. La préparation inadéquate, je pense que vous l'avez bien compris à ce niveau, inadequate preparation in many, bargaining or integrative situation, inadequate preparation in relation to the value of the target often prevents a mutual acceptable agreement from being reached. Donc, si vous êtes mal préparé, si vous n'avez pas l'objectif très clair dans la tête des targets, vos intérêts, your interest and the interest of the other side, si vous n'avez pas cette liste d'alternatives, si vous n'avez pas ces potentiels concessions in your head, si vous connaissez pas vos limites, si vous connaissez pas your resistance point and the resistance point of the other, si vous n'avez pas étudié, if you're not considering the context, if you don't know who else is involved in the decision making, si vous ne savez pas qui d'autre prend la décision, qui d'autre va impacter la décision de cette situation de négociation, if you don't know all these elements, if you don't prepare them before starting the negotiation situation, well, this is considered as a very big mistake in a negotiation process. Okay. So let's move to section number 2, perception, cognition, and emotion. So there is a lot of things are important in a negotiation situation. A lot of things impact the negotiation situation. Of course, the strategy is important. Of course, the tactic is important, but still there is let's say, other factors, okay, other psychological factors, for example, that can impact this negotiation result, okay? So perception, for example, perception is one of those factors that can impact this negotiation situation. In a famous book called Negotiation, an American, a famous American author called Tracy Bryan. Okay, he talks about a friend of his friend who lost everything dans la bourse, in the stock market. He says that a good friend of mine, once worth millions of dollars, lost all his money in the financial market. So he was forced to cut back in every area, including selling his large yacht and his valuable worthy houses. C'est-à-dire que son ami qui valait des millions et des millions de dollars, un jour a perdu son argent dans la bourse, et donc il a dû arrêter, vendre beaucoup de biens. Il a dû revenir reculer en arrière dans beaucoup de domaines, including selling his yacht, vendre sa maison, etc. But he never told anyone. So today he's on his way back. He's buying and selling, negotiating and trading, expanding one company, selling another, because everyone believes that he's still wealthy. He carries himself as if he has the same financial clout, le même poids financier that he had a few years ago. So it's all about perception. It is all, guys, it is all about perception. So what is perception? Give me a definition, guys. What do we mean by perception? Tell me a word, for example. Perception.
Excuse. Hello?
La perception, c'est la manière de voir la chose, la manière de concevoir peut-être le monde ou une situation.
Okay. La manière de voir les choses, oui, c'est une... Oui, ok.
It's a personal experience?
Personal experience, Isabelle, oui, that will be a key element of the definition, yeah?
Maybe perceiving or...
Perception, perceiving, yeah. Perceiving, the act of perceiving. So perception, guys, is the process. Let's take this definition. Let's read this definition. Is the process by which individuals need to connect to their environment. Negotiators approach each situation guided by their perceptions of past situations and current attitudes and behaviors. Well, it is a sense-making process. People interpret the environment so that they can respond appropriately. So many things, I guess many things influence how a person understands and assigns meaning to messages and events, including the perceiver's current state of mind, role and comprehension of early communications. So in negotiation, the goal is to perceive and interpret with precision what the other party is saying and meaning. So doing so also depends on other parties' perceptions of the situations, as well as the perceiver's own behavior disposition. So the importance of perceptions, guys, applied to many types of power used in negotiating. So here are some other ways that perceived power can influence negotiation. The power of scarcity, le pouvoir de la rareté, power of indifference, le pouvoir de l'indifférence, the power of courage, the power of knowledge and expertise. So the power of scarcity, le pouvoir de la rareté, scarcity is un peu la rareté. Often people don't know how much they want to acquire a product or service. Okay, just 1 second. My battery is low. I will just put the charge.
Allô?
Très bien, désolé les amis, mais ma batterie, c'est la batterie de mon laptop s'est déchargée. Donc, on parlait du pouvoir, des pouvoirs je veux dire, le pouvoir de la perception. Et nous avons dit qu'il y a différents pouvoirs de la perception. Le pouvoir de la rareté, par exemple, le pouvoir de l'indifférence, le pouvoir du courage, power of courage, power of knowledge and expertise. So the power of scarcity, le pouvoir de la rareté. D'accord, quand on perçoit qu'un produit deviendra peut-être rare. So often people don't know how they want to acquire this product or service until it appears that they won't be able to get it at all. So the perception that you have something scarce, quelque chose de rare, that other people need and that other people want and are prepared to buy immediately gives you excellent bargaining power in negotiation. And you only have to see what happened in certain stores and certain market the period of when the period of confinement was officially announced. Si vous vous rappelez, lorsque la période de confinement était officiellement annoncée au Maroc, how some stores, comment certains marchés, quelques marchés, pas tous bien sûr, quelques marchés qui manquaient d'éthique ont gagné un certain avantage au niveau de la situation de négociation lorsque nous nous sommes aperçus que certains produits pouvaient devenir rares. Okay? Donc ce pouvoir de la rareté peut donner cette perception que cet objet de la situation de négociation peut devenir rare, peut vous donner l'avantage, cette strong position in a negotiation situation. Then we have the power of indifference, le pouvoir de l'indifférence. You cultivate an attitude of indifference by remaining calm and unemotional during the negotiation, by creating the perception that you don't really care whether you buy or sell the product. Well, this is often called a poker face. So when you watch the poker champions on TV, I don't know if you already watch, I don't know, a champion, a poker champions on TV, you will notice that their faces remain calm and they appear almost bored during the game. Les joueurs de poker, je ne sais pas si vous avez remarqué ça, mais leur visage, their gestures, remain calm et ne changent pas. It is even better if the other side of the negotiation is enthusiastic about making a deal. Okay, on a way or another. So if you are indifferent and the other side.
Sorry to interrupt you, but in other words, in the Moroccan words, like ما تبينش تحت راسك, like you need to stay like neutral and don't show your enthusiasm, parce que j'ai pas su le dire en anglais, because the other party will va utiliser ça contre toi. Voilà.
Absolument. C'est exactement ça, Leila. C'est exactement ça. Merci, Leila. C'est exactement ça. So you should be indifferent. So this power of indifference is if the other side perceives you as indifference, that will make you stronger in this negotiation situation, and you may get a better deal. So the third, let's say, power of the third perceptions, let's say, power is the power of courage. So if you demonstrate courage in your willingness to take a strong position on a deal, to make a clear offer or demand, to risk the failure of the negotiation and to walk, let's say, to walk away from the deal if it is necessary, when the other party sees that you are completely confident in what you are doing or what you are offering, it often intimidates them into giving you a better price or better terms of a contract, for example. And then we have the power of knowledge and expertise. So parties with greatest perceived knowledge, greatest perceived expertise has tremendous power in the negotiation. So if you are selling if you are selling a sophisticated product or service, your command of background data or technology gives you a kind of distinct advantage over the buyer with a lower level of knowledge about the product or services. This often happened in Apple store, Samsung store, when the buyer is, we know that the buyer have this expertise, is perceived as expert of the product that he buys. So, yeah. So perception distortion. Okay, la distorsion de la perception, un peu la déformation de la perception. Well, in any given negotiation, the perceivers, our needs, sorry guys, and desires, motivation, and personal experiences may create une certaine prédisposition chez l'autre partie de la predispositions about the other sides of the other party, the other sides of the negotiation situation, une certaine prédisposition, c'est-à-dire que la personne a déjà certaines idées une image prédéfinie, préétablie par rapport à l'autre partie, the other side of the negotiation situation. Well, this is cause for concern when it leads to biases, des biais, des préjugés, and errors in perception and subsequent communication. So there is let's say three major perceptual errors. Okay. Alors first there is les stéréotypes, stereotyping. Then we have halo effects and projection. Je vais essayer de répondre à vos questions et après j'entends plus rien. Bonjour madame, est-ce qu'il y aura des présentations aujourd'hui? Bonjour Nizar. Je pense que non.
Madame,
on aura une présentation par semaine. Donc, si le groupe de Leïla a choisi de passer lundi et non pas mercredi, donc voilà. Donc, on n'aura pas de...
On ne savait pas. On a vu le fichier Excel, mais on n'a pas trouvé les dates. Donc, on a terminé notre présentation pour la passer aujourd'hui, normalement. On ne savait pas.
Vous avez combien de temps? Vous avez 20 minutes, 15 minutes? Si c'est une présentation de 20 minutes, 15 minutes, on peut passer.
Madame, je ne sais pas. Normalement, on est 6 personnes. Et je ne sais pas, madame. Peut-être 20 minutes.
20 minutes. D'accord, non, là, si c'est une présentation... Fadel, 20 minutes, d'accord. Si c'est une présentation de 20 minutes, on peut la passer aujourd'hui, du moment qu'au niveau de cette section, on n'a pas de, je veux dire qu'on n'a pas d'application.
D'accord, madame.
Mohamed Lamine. Oui, on est là, Isa. Ah, d'accord. Est-ce que vous aviez un problème de son? Je n'ai pas vérifié. Un problème de son. Très bien. C'est bon. Isabelle, salut Isabelle. Très bien.
Bonjour.
So there is four major of, let's say three important major perceptual errors that could happen in a negotiation situation. Well, that could happen when you are facing another, when you are preparing your negotiation situation and you, with a different person, a person when that you don't really know. First, stereotyping. Stereotyping, guys. Alors, les stéréotypes, les amis. What do you know about stereotyping? Well, let's say that it is a common distortion, une certaine déformation très connue et très commune of the perceptual process. Well, it occurs when one individual assigns attributes to another only on the basis of the other's membership in a particular social or demographic category. So stereotypes are formed about a wide variety of different groups. Examples include the younger generation, males or females, well, German, Russians, or people of different races and religion. Well, there is something like, il y a des stéréotypes traditionnellement connus sur, par exemple, if you are facing a woman or a man in a negotiation situation, what are the traditional, what are the common stereotypes knowing about a woman, that you know about a woman? Guys, this question, j'adresse cette question aux garçons. Les stéréotypes connus, si vous êtes dans une situation de négociation où vous allez faire face à une femme, par exemple, hein, quels sont ces stéréotypes traditionnels connus sur le caractère des femmes? Madam, you can ask to Amnai. He knows everything.
Stop, Layla, stop doing this. Leila.
Sorry, no, it's my kind of joke, me, so sorry.
No, this is not funny, Leila. This is not funny.
Okay, so because Miss I laugh about this, to say sorry, I will answer to this question. Okay, so in the business world, I think that women, like leaders and who negotiate, they think by heart more than the cerveau, like they are emotionally sometimes, and also les femmes savent ce qu'elles veulent, like goal oriented, like they know, they set goals et elles fixent plutôt des objectifs à atteindre, et au final elles suivent le process, c'est-à-dire étape step by step. Elles ne se précipitent pas, elles restent calmes et peuvent être rapidement influencées quand elles sont devant un homme qui est charismatique et qui a aussi quoi dire. Voilà, je pense.
Ouais,
elles peuvent être rapidement déstabilisées parce que je vous ai dit que comme quoi elles réfléchissent plus par les émotions que par la logique.
Ok, donc la réalité, c'est, enfin, ça c'est de bonnes choses que tu es en train de dire, Leila, about women. But you know that traditionally, boys or men have stereotypes about women. Like, for example, they think that women are not aggressive, women are dependent, they can easily influence a woman. They can, a woman is home-oriented, she's gentle, she's talkative, she's emotional, she's, let's read, she's submissive, easily influenced, emotional, cries a lot, gentle. So these are some stereotypes, traditional gender stereotypes, traditional stereotypes that men, for example, have about women.
Yes.
That men,
il y a aussi des clichés, mais parce que je vous ai dit qu'elles réfléchissent plus par les émotions que par la logique. C'est pour ça que je vous ai dit, oui, les femmes surtout expect, like, they have a lot, they are victims. Elles sont des victimes plutôt de gender stereotypes.
Yeah, they are victims. Yeah. But is this
Yeah.
real? Is it? Are you emotional, Leila? Are you dependent?
Obviously, mais like sometimes these emotions prennent le dessus. That's why it's related to, I think, to all the women. Like, for example.
Okay. On laisse de côté les émotions. Est-ce que tu es dépendante de quelqu'un? Est-ce que tu es dépendante?
No.
No, you are independent, right?
No, of my parents, of course, but not of someone. You understand me? Je suis dépendante de mes parents, mais pas de quelqu'un.
Attends, ça c'est un niveau. Tu es dépendante de tes parents, je ne sais pas, pour certaines. Mais quand on te demande de réaliser un projet, un rapport, est-ce que tu dépends de quelqu'un?
Non, c'est pour ça que
You're doing it by yourself, right?
Yes.
Okay, that means that you are independent. You are not
independent. But just because you say dependent, not independent. You ask me if I am dependent of someone, and I told you no. Like, I'm not dependent of someone.
Okay.
Mis à part les parents, parce que vous
mis à part les parents pour certains niveaux.
But I don't depend on someone, like, je n'attends rien de quelqu'un. J'essaie de m'accomplir moi-même.
Are you submissive, for example? Est-ce que tu es soumise à certaines règles, à certaines, je ne sais pas, enfin, soumise à une pression sociétale, soumise à des...
Pas vraiment, non. I used to, but now no.
No, you're not. Now you're not. I can confirm. You are not submissive. Are you home-oriented? Est-ce que tu as tendance à aimer à rester chez toi, à la maison, etc. Non.
Ah non, alors. Alors, pas du tout.
At all. So those, for example, are some stereotypes when let's say that when someone is trying to have to deal with a woman in a negotiation strategy, a negotiation situation, there is some stereotypes that men, for example, used to have about, and this is an error. This is, for example, an error that can conduct to a negative situation, because if you think that a woman is easily influenced, well, it will lead you to negative results. If you think that she's not aggressive, but let me tell you something, that women can be aggressive also. We are not easily influenced. We are not home-oriented. We are not always emotional. In professional, let's say in professional situation, women can be not emotional. We are not always emotional. We're not always talkative. On ne parle pas toujours tout le temps, hein, mais c'est vrai que sur certaines enfin, it is not every woman is supposed to be talkative. Not every woman is supposed to be submissive. Not every woman is supposed to be not aggressive. Some women can be aggressive. Some women can be independent. Some women
but
can.
We don't need to forget that there are stereotypes, parce que ça reste que des stéréotypes que des gens il y a des gens qui croient en ces stéréotypes, mais ça reste des stéréotypes parce que c'est pas vrai, parce que chacun a son propre caractère. Oui, il y a des choses qu'on peut généraliser, mais dire qu'une femme ne peut pas faire ceci ou cela, je ne pense pas que c'est juste encore. Et aussi pour les hommes, il y a par exemple, un homme ne doit pas cuisiner, par exemple, on va prendre un exemple basique. Non, ils doivent cuisiner, ils doivent faire aussi le ménage. Il y a des choses comme ça. Parce que ça reste des stéréotypes. C'est la société qui inflige ça à la société. Genre, il y a le jugement. Est-ce que vous avez compris ce que je veux dire, mon idée?
Absolument, j'ai compris ce que tu as dit. Leïla, mais le plus important, du moment que nous sommes dans un cours de négociation, le plus important, c'est qu'en préparant cette situation de négociation ou qu'en démarrant cette situation de négociation, il faut éviter ces stéréotypes. D'accord? Voilà. Mais le plus important, c'est de chercher les informations. Si vous avez, in preparing this negotiation process, you should know information about this person, his profile, etc. But without using stereotypes, without including this, systematically including this person in a gender category, in an age category, in a demographic category, in a religion category. You know what I mean? So there are stereotypes, and there is also, guys, there is a halo effect. So halo effect is, il y a une certaine ambiguïté entre les halo effects et les stereotypes, because c'est un peu similaire. In perceptions, halo effects are similar to stereotypes. So rather than using a person's group membership as a basis for clarification, that is what we did in stereotype. We used a person group membership for this basis classifications. Halo effects occur when people generalize about a variety of attributes based on the knowledge of one attribute of an individual. So let's say that a smiling person is judged to be more honest than a frowning. The frowning, you know, frowning is when you are like that, frowning. A frowning person, for example, even though there is no consistent relationship between smiling and honesty. So halo effects, for example, is when, si par exemple j'ai quelqu'un qui est très ponctuel durant la première, la deuxième séance, si la personne est ponctuelle, je vais pas dire que ça veut pas dire qu'elle est systématiquement une personne sérieuse ou là une personne respectueuse. But this is halo effects. Well, yes, Samia, this is kind of first impression. Yeah, this is kind of first impression. So I'll use this first impression to generalize about your profile. So for the first session, you were punctual in the first session. So I will use this character to say that you will be, you are a serious person or a respectful person. So this is a halo effect. In stereotype, alors dans les stéréotypes, on utilise, we use the, on inclut on utilise les caractéristiques d'un groupe pour identifier la personne. So there are the characteristics of women globally. These are the characteristics of Muslim, of Arab person, of young generation, of old generation, of people living in Casablanca, of people living in Germany, to describe this person. So I'll use his category to describe him. This is stereotype. The halo effects I'll use, for example, the first impression, the first attitude, his smile, for example, to say that this person is sérieuse, cette personne elle est ponctuelle, cette personne elle est respectable, cette personne elle est dans le respect des droits de l'homme, etc. Okay? And then we have projections, guys. So projection occur when people assign the others the characteristics of or feeling that they possess themselves. C'est-à-dire que je vais utiliser mes propres caractères, je vais projeter mes propres caractères, je vais projeter mes propres émotions, ce que je suis sur l'autre personne. Donc, je suis par exemple une personne ambitieuse, une personne gentille, enfin c'est des caractéristiques c'est juste des exemples, et donc je vais supposer que la même personne a les mêmes caractéristiques que moi. Cette personne est aussi ambitieuse, donc cette personne est aussi gentille, cette personne est également dans le respect de l'environnement, cette personne elle est either for values, either for characters, either for I don't know principles, etc. So I'll project my values, I'll project my principles on the other side of the negotiation. So these are errors, these are perception distortions. C'est ce que ces choses peuvent déformer la perception, les stéréotypes, le halo effect et la projection sur l'autre. C'est des choses vraiment à éviter. So how, c'est des choses qu'on doit éviter dans la situation de négociation. And then we have cognitive, guys, cognitive biases in negotiation, les préjugés cognitifs dans la négociation. Okay, so let's read the slide. Rather than being perfect processors of information, it is quite clear that negotiators have a tendency to make systematic errors when they process information. Okay, so there is some errors that this negotiator, des erreurs que le négociateur, comme tout décideur, peut commettre durant cette situation de négociation. Irrational escalation of commitment. Mythical belief that the issues under negotiation are all fixed by just one pie. The winner course, negotiator overconfidence, the law of small numbers, the tendency to ignore other cognition, and the process of reactive, let's say the reactive devaluation. So these, for example, are some cognitive biases of negotiation. So we will explain for sure, we will explain them. What do we mean by escalation of commitment? Irrational, let's say, irrational escalation of commitment. So negotiators sometimes maintain a kind of commitment to a course of action, even when that commitment constitutes irrational behavior on their part. So this is an example of a broader psychological phenomenon known as escalation of commitment, which is the tendency for an individual to make decisions that stick with a failing course of action. A classic example of this escalation of commitment includes a country, for example, that continues to pour military resources into an unwinnable, let's say, unwinnable armed conflict, or for example, an investor who continues to put more money into a declining stock in hopes its fortunes will turn. It's like putting good money after bad money. So this irrational escalation of commitment, c'est un peu le fait de... L'exemple classique, c'est un État, par exemple, qui investit qui investit dans l'armement dans une guerre qui ne sera jamais d'une guerre inwinnable, qui ne sera jamais qu'on va jamais réussir, on va jamais réaliser cette victoire. D'accord, c'est quelqu'un par exemple qui met de l'argent dans des dans une affaire perdue. Voilà. Donc, sometimes this irrational escalation of commitment, we are stuck on a decision, we are stuck on a vision, we are stuck on some strategical choice, like l'armement par exemple, pour dans une guerre perdue, où là le put money dans une affaire, mettre de l'argent, beaucoup de budget dans une affaire perdue. Rien que pour, je vais dire, rien que pour des motivations psychologiques. Ça, par exemple, c'est des choses vraiment à éviter. Mythical fixed pie belief, c'est-à-dire que many negotiators, for example, assume that all negotiations involve a fixed pie. Negotiators often approach integrative negotiation opportunities as win-lose exchange. D'accord, donc those who believe in the mythical fixed pie assume that parties' interests stand in opposition with no possibility for integrative settlement and mutually beneficial trade-offs. So they suppress efforts to search for them. So let's take the example of a negotiation when after graduating you will negotiate your let's say your first salary. The job applicant who assumes that salary is the only issue may insist, you will insist, for example, on this 10,000 dirham when your employer is offering, I don't know, 9,000 dirhams. So only when the two parties, you and your recruiter, discuss the possibilities further, you will discuss covering that moving expenses and starting dates can also be negotiated, which may facilitate resolution of the salary issue. So mythical fixed pie, so this usually happen in bargaining negotiation situation. Mythical fixed pie, usually people think that there is just one pie, negotiated pie, and we talk about tactics pour éviter cette situation. And this tactic, for example, is to open this flow information and knowing more about the interest of the other party, knowing more about our interest. And we gave this example of this pumpkin and this one pumpkin. Okay, this is the third time that I'm giving this example, the example of pumpkin, but this is just to say that we'll negotiate, and people, this is the mythical, an example of mythical fixed pie beliefs, that three of us believe that there is just one pumpkin and three of us want it, and this is just one, we just have this one pie. But to avoid this situation, we open this flow of information. We try to know more about our interest. We discovered that there is many interests, three different interests, and we moved from this bargaining negotiation situation. We moved, sorry guys, from this integrated, this distributive negotiation situation to this integrative negotiation situation. Okay, so then we have the winner's card, la malédiction du gagnant. The winner's card, la malédiction du gagnant. So the winner's card refers to the tendency of negotiators, particularly in an action setting, okay, to settle quickly on an item and then subsequently feel discomfort about a negotiation when that comes too easily. Let's take the example of a couple, for example. In an antique store several years ago, a person saw a clock, une montre, d'accord, and the antique several store, he and his wife fell in love with this clock, and they spend a lot of time planning for this negotiation, as you did. They spent a lot of time negotiating and preparing the negotiating plan, and the couple returned to this store to apply this their strategy, and the store owner accepted their first offer. Okay, il a accepté the first opening bids, la première offre de départ, and upon arriving home, suffering from this winner curse, c'est-à-dire cette malédiction du gagnant, cet état où votre première offre, vous gagnez facilement cette situation de négociation. They left the clock on the garage. So winning easily led them to left the clock, even if first they really want it. So we have another biais de cognition biases, another which is overconfidence. Okay, donc overconfidence is negotiator overconfidence is a tendency of negotiators to believe that their ability to be correct is greater than it is actually true. So overconfidence, c'est-à-dire, overconfidence can solidify, ça peut solidifier the degree to which negotiators support positions or options that are incorrect or inappropriate. So for instance, one study found that negotiators who were not trained to be aware of the overconfidence tended to overestimate their probability of being successful and were significantly less likely to compromise or reach agreement than trade negotiations. So, disons que il faut rester modeste, voilà. Il faut rester modeste, il faut rester terre à terre. Il ne faut pas se surestimer et il ne faut pas surestimer ses capacités et ses compétences. Then we have the law, let's say. Okay. Okay, so then we will see the law of small numbers. Okay, well, or let's say ignoring, negotiator overcome. Then we have the ignoring orders cognition. So negotiators often don't ask about the other party's perceptions and thought. So which leads them to work with incomplete information and thus produced faulty results. So failure to consider others' cognitions allows negotiators to simplify their thinking about otherwise complex processes. This usually leads to a more, let's say, to more a distributive strategy and causes failure to recognize the nature of both side behavior and response. And as we said, knowing this target, knowing this resistance point, knowing the interest of the other party, the goal of the other party, knowing their cognition, knowing their perception is as important and as knowing those technical let's say those technical issues. So how to manage misperceptions and or cognitive biases in negotiation? Well, there is no, il n'y a pas de résultat, let's say, de résultat magique. Il n'y a pas d'outils très je veux dire d'outils clairs ou cadrés. Misperceptions and cognition biases typically arise out of conscious awareness as negotiators gather and process information. So the question of how best to manage perceptual and cognition les biais cognitifs is a difficult one. Well, certainly the first level of managing such distortions is to be aware that they can occur. La première chose, c'est d'être conscient que ces choses-là peuvent arriver. D'accord, ces stéréotypes, cette projection, cette halo effect, la malédiction du gagnant, cette overconfidence, either for you or the other side. Donc la première chose pour faire face, ou déjà la seule solution que nous pouvons préparer, c'est les présenter, c'est la capacité qu'il faut reconnaître, qu'il faut d'abord les connaître, qu'il faut d'abord savoir de quoi il s'agit et savoir que ça peut arriver. Donc, however, awareness by itself may not be enough. research evidence shows that simply telling people about misconceptions and cognition biases does a little to contract their effects. Well, the best advice that negotiator can follow is simply to be aware of negative aspects, those negative aspects. So this is what I just said. So le seul, the only advice I can give you, la seule, je veux dire, conseil que je peux vous donner, c'est d'abord les connaître ses biais cognitifs, connaître ses préjugés, connaître ses distorsions de perception qui peuvent impacter cette situation de négociation. Donc déjà le fait de les connaître, de les détecter, de les analyser, de savoir que vous-même vous pouvez faire objet de ces erreurs-là, de ces biais, de ces distorsions de perception, peut déjà alléger et minimiser l'impact et l'effet de ces problèmes-là sur la situation de négociation. Alors, emotions. Well, emotions, les émotions sont inévitables dans une situation de négociation. They are inevitable in negotiations, and it isn't realistic to try to avoid them or eradicate them. On peut pas les éradiquer, on peut pas les éviter. Barbara Way, which is a scholar, a famous scholar, you can do research about this person who present a lot of research on about negotiation. Well, she argues that effective negotiators figure out how to handle emotional, let's say, outbursts, like explosions, emotional explosions from others who may be simply trying to push out hot buttons. So she offers this suggestion, or those suggestions to deal with this opponent who express the opponents, I mean the other side of the negotiation, who sometimes can express their feeling and present negative emotion. So separate the emotion from the expression. So il y a des fois l'émotion exprime des choses. So perhaps the emotion is really a way for the older person to signal an important interest. Why is the older person acting like this way? So you should ask this question, parce que parfois those emotions express a hidden thing, a hidden interest. So if the person in front of you in this negotiation situation express a kind of negative emotion or a kind of emotion, try to know why she is acting like that, because maybe she's just trying to express a specific interest. And another advice is to turn the table. I mean, put yourself in the other person's positions and ask, why would I behave like that? Why would I behave that way? And this may help you identify circumstances in which this sort of emotional explosion, this emotional outburst would be legitimate. So, c'est-à-dire, tournez la page, put yourself in the other shoes. Mettez-vous dans la place de l'autre personne, pour essayer de comprendre et si vous actez comme ça, si vous exprimez la négative émotion, posez cette question, pourquoi si j'ai exprimé ces émotions, why would I behave that way? Pourquoi j'aurais fait ça? Et donc, ça vous aidera à comprendre l'autre partenaire de négociation. That will help you to understand the other side of your other partner, your other negotiation partner. Alors, reflect the emotion being expressed back to the other party. Sometimes strong feelings are an indication that the other party simply wants to be heard. Alors, parfois, the other party just want to hear him. So make sure that if this person express those negative, a certain emotion, strong emotion, either negative or positive, make sure to confirm that you are listening, that you are understanding him, that you are considering him as human. But that doesn't mean that you are making concessions or according something, but you just you are just expressing an understanding envers l'autre personne. Vous êtes juste en train d'exprimer et de dire que vous comprenez ce que l'autre personne est en train de dire ou en train de partager, parce que parfois your older partner just need to be heard, guys. Okay. So ask questions to uncover the issue or interest behind the emotion, or knowing what the underlying concern makes it possible for you to move on from emotion to substance, and that let's say, and that treat that concern. So once you know what it is as an issue on the table for negotiation, so these are some advices that can help you to manage, let's say, to manage emotions, and to that can appear in a negotiation situation, either negative or positive, let's say positive emotion. Okay. Très bien. So that will be all for this session. Do you have questions, guys? Okay, madam. William, you have questions. You have a question?
No, madam.
Well,
I don't.
Just 1 minute. 1 minute, William. Nora, I guess Asia will present.
Okay.
Yes,
Can you get Nora? Vous pouvez vous préparer. Donc le temps de prendre les questions.
D'accord, madame.
D'accord. William, your question?
I don't have a question, madam. It was clear.
Okay.
Madame?
Oui, Marie.
Oui, j'ai une question à propos de la perception. Vous avez donné, à propos de la perception.
Oui, vas-y.
Vous avez donné les 4 pouvoirs. J'aimerais savoir si ce sont les différents éléments qui impactent la manière de concevoir, ou je n'ai pas compris le rapport entre le pouvoir et la perception.
Alors, cette perception de la rareté, Marie, cette perception que vous êtes l'expert, la perception que vous êtes indifférent, la perception, on a parlé de la 4e exception, c'était quoi? Nous avons parlé de la rareté, nous avons parlé de l'indifférence, nous avons parlé du courage, voilà, le courage et l'expertise. Alors, ce pouvoir, Marie, c'est cette perception que ce que tu as en tant que négociateur est rare. Cette perception que j'ai, que tu es indifférente envers ma proposition, cette perception que j'ai que la proposition que tu es en train de faire est une proposition courageuse, la perception que j'ai envers toi que tu es une experte qui est en train de me vendre un logiciel. Ça te permet un pouvoir, that will make you stronger, ça te rend forte au niveau de cette situation de négociation. Mais c'est juste une perception, Marie. Lorsqu'on a annoncé officiellement la période de confinement, les gens ont pensé que les légumes, certains produits de première nécessité ne vont pas, vont se consommer. Et donc, ça a rendu certains vendeurs forts dans la situation de négociation, alors que c'était juste une perception, c'est pas vrai, d'accord? Le pouvoir de l'indifférence. Je suis en train de négocier avec une personne, ouais, la personne, elle montre beaucoup d'indifférence, c'est-à-dire qu'elle s'en fout de mes propositions. Alors, ça me rend un peu faible devant cette personne. Ça me rend un peu faible parce que je me dis que, elle n'a pas besoin de me vendre ce produit. Elle a d'autres clients, elle a d'autres fournisseurs. Alors, ça, c'est un pouvoir. La perception que j'ai envers cette personne, que cette personne est indifférente, me rend faible au niveau de cette situation et renforce cette don du pouvoir. Give powers to this other side of negotiation. Le courage, la même chose. Alors, cette personne a fait je perçois cette personne en tant que courageuse parce qu'elle a présenté une offre bien claire, bien précise, c'est à prendre ou à laisser, et je comprends que si elle me fait comprendre que si j'accepte pas son offre, elle va partir. Marie, tu te rappelles la vidéo qu'on a regardée la première séance sur le président américain Kirkman, who was negotiating with qui négociait avec les Russes et les Ukrainians. Tu te rappelles?
Oui, madame. Oui,
Alors,
madame.
est-ce que tu te rappelles que le président américain a formulé une offre très bien définie, très bien précise, et il a bien exprimé que si c'est une offre à prendre ou à laisser, et que s'il n'accepte pas ce qu'il présente en termes de proposition, ben, il y aura d'autres conséquences. Tu vois? Donc, il a montré beaucoup de courage. Ils l'ont perçu en tant que président courageux. Ils ont accepté l'offre. La même chose par rapport à l'expertise. Un ingénieur est en train de te vendre un logiciel. Ashraf Madkouri, par exemple, est en train de nous vendre un logiciel. On aura tendance à accepter d'acheter le logiciel de chez Ashraf parce qu'on sait que Ashraf est un expert en informatique. Alors, cette perception qu'on a, qui se peut qu'elle soit fausse et il se peut qu'elle soit vraie, Marie ou Elakine, l'important, c'est qu'on l'aperçoit en tant que telle et ça offre un pouvoir d'influence sur la situation de négociation. D'accord? J'espère que j'ai répondu à ta question, Marie.
Oui, madame, c'est clair. Merci.
Très bien. Merci, Marie. Alors,
Madame,
les amis,
it's
oui?
Omar.
Hi, Omar.
I want to
Go
ask you a
ahead.
question, but
Go
it's
ahead.
not concerning what you just did.
Yes,
It's
Omar.
about what you did last time. Can you hear me?
The last step about what? Of what?
No, it's not about what we just did. It's about what we were supposed to do about the formal report.
Yeah, the leadership,
Yeah.
I mean, communication.
Yeah.
We
I
will
was just
discuss it.
asking.
Go ahead.
I've sent you, but you asked me about the appendix.
The appendix, I read your email, I was willing to answer after the session. The appendix is something that you don't need, Omar, in the report, and that you can, the appendix, alors en français, c'est l'annexe. It's a part of the report where you can put some documents that you don't need in the, I'll give you an example. In my PhD report, Omar, I used the Constitution text to have some information about contextualizing my study. Do you think that I should put all the Constitution text on my report?
No.
No, because, well, I will not give like 30 or 40 pages for the Constitution text on my report, but there is a part for that. It's called the appendix. Well, in this appendix, we put the important document on in what we based some research, some contextual study, some graphic, for example. They are important for our study, for our report, but at the same time, well, it will not be necessary to put them in the report body. Why? Because we can find them in let's say other platforms, or some studies, for example, some official reports, some legal text, for example, text legislation text. Well, those are important texts. Those are sources for the information, but at the same time, I do not need to put them in the body of my report, because the body of my report should include the output of my research, the output of my reflection, but at the same time, I need them to the report. So there is a part called appendix where we can put those things. For example, the graphic that you used, Omar, in your report, the last graphic.
Yes.
Well, the last graphic, for example, you can put it in this part called appendix.
Okay, thank you then.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. So, yeah.